bullshit when people say that, I only sleep 4 hours. No, you don't, or then you're certainly not working at your maximum capacity.
Welcome back to my video. In this video, we will talk about who is Alexander Stubb. Alexander Stubb is a Finnish politician who served as a prime minister. He is right now running for the president of Finland. And I have heard that Stubb has also won a European Championship in triathlon. This video will be based on Linda Burns' interaction styles, temperament styles, John Beebe's 8-function model, and David Kersey's theories. So I will be watching some videos from YouTube to figure out what personality type is Stubb. I understand that he is a politician, therefore I don't want to go too far with only purely politic videos. Let's see what I can find. Seems like Alexander Stubb has his own YouTube channel.
Welcome back to our lecture series on my upcoming book called The New World Disorder. The 3 points of today are hybrid warfare, secondly, blurred domestic and foreign policy, and thirdly, system of change. So by way of introduction, Mark Leonard has been talking in his excellent book about the age of unpeace. I would probably call it more like the age of unrest, and I'll try to explain why.
Okay, I understand he has his own YouTube channel and he also obviously have maybe thought through what he's gonna say, but I still have to point out how direct and systematic was just the introduction to this video. He seems really direct to me and pretty systematic in this approach. If this is the way he wants to start his YouTube video, then I'm getting a pretty directing and systematic vibe, but I mean, it's a video, could be wrong.
So local wars are usually civil wars or wars between a state actor and non-state actor. Regional wars bring it into a broader context, like for instance, Russia attacking Ukraine. Now, what I'll try to understand today is why, competition and cooperation has lately been replaced by conflict. And of course, we have many different dimensions to this. So one dimension is state versus a non-state actor. So that's pretty much, the fight against terrorism. And then the other dimension, of course, is state versus state. Do you remember President Zelensky coming out on a video saying, I need ammunition, I don't need a ride? So it's a personal communication. Starting to see state actors in a war situation using the same instrument. And of course, Zelensky did it in a brilliant way. He has won the hearts and minds of so many of us.
I think it's really interesting how he's just picking out information from the objective to basically build his argument. To me, it seems like it's either extroverted sensing, bringing out external things that has happened, and then bringing the introverted intuitiveness to build up like this conclusion. Yeah, let's change the video. This is a bit too serious. Oh great, there's a video where he is interviewed by students.
Jos lähtisit nyt Hamkkiin opiskeleen, niin mitä opiskelisit?
Mun velihän on siis tradenomi, nimenomaan tietojen käsittelystä ja ICTstä, niin mä nappaisin kyllä opettajan koulutuksen nyt kun on ollut proffana tuolla Firenzessä ja tykkään opettamista. Aristoteles sanoi joskus, että ei ole mitään jalompaa ammattia kuin nuoren opettaminen. Opettaja.
Aristoteles said there is no greater occupation than teaching young people. Extrovert thinking. Objective information taken to build an argument.
Miten presidenttinä voisit vaikuttaa opiskelijoiden asemaan yhteiskunnassa? Kerro joku konkreettinen teko.
No ehkä enemmän just nyt kun mä oon professori. Mutta mä luulen, että olemalla niin sanotusti läsnä, puhumalla opiskelusta, käymällä luennoimassa. Ei sillä tavalla, että pönöttäisi puhujapöntöstä kukkakimpun takana.
How would you concretely change the lives of the young people? And he's saying that he would do these concrete things. He was listing 3 concrete things he would do. But what I think is interesting right here is that he answered pretty straightforward. He's telling concretely what he would do. Seems to me that he's a really fast thinker. He's really put together. To me, it seems like really directing way of communication. Seems like he's directing, he's telling exact information so that the conversation goes forward into a direction. In a directing communication, there is a task and time focus. The focus is on the accomplishment of the task. So the conversation itself flows to accomplish something. I definitely see that kind of accomplishment aspect in his speech.
Siitä, että opiskellaan mahdollisimman laajasti alussa ennen kuin sitten ehkä erikoistutaan. Et mä haluaisin olla läsnä, koska mitään määrärahojahan presidentillä ei opiskelijoille tarjota.
Jos olisit presidentti, niin miten edistäisit kansainvälistymistä ja sitä, että Suomi olisi houkutteleva maa opiskelijoille ja osaajille?
Varmaan kiertämällä maailmaa ja tekemässä vienninedistysmatkoja, opetus ja koulutus mielessä.
Kerro sä joku konkreettinen teko, miten juuri sinä parastat maailmaa.
Ne on yleensä aika pieniä juttuja. Eli sä autat jotain toista ihmistä jossain vaikeassa tilanteessa. Mä uskon paljon tähän filosofiaan, jonka mä oon lukenut Adam Grantilta. Give and take. Eli antaminen antaa elämään merkitystä ja parastaa.
Giving makes a world a better place. Making small deeds. He was also again quoting this person Adam Grant. I'm getting really strong extroverted thinking vibes. What we have now is that I think he's directing and he is an extroverted thinking user. Therefore, we have 4 types left. He is either an INTJ, ENTJ, ISTJ, or ESTJ. The differences between STJs and NTJs is that STJs are cooperative and concrete, and NTJs are abstract and utilitarian.
Millaisia neuvoja antaisit nuorelle, joka miettii, että miten vaikuttaa tulevaisuuteen ja maailman suuntaan?
Ole oma itsesi.
Be yourself. Sounds like an introverted feeling comment.
Utelias. Opi joka päivä.
Be curious. Learn something new every day. That is super interesting.
Jotain uutta. Älä ole kyyninen.
Don't be cynical.
Kuuntele, keskustele. Sitä kautta se vaikuttaminen tulee ja löydä se oma juttus.
Direct, 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 direct. Do this, do this, do this. 100% direct.
Pystyt vaikuttaa monella eri tapaa. Sen ei tarvitse olla sitä isoa juttua. Älä koskaan kyynistyä, pidä avoin mieli.
Be open-minded. That was his last point. Siding with abstract. I heard that there was this older video 14 years ago. Alexander Stubb wrote a book, Miehen, treenikirja, Man's Training Book. I do think it's also useful to see videos from a person over long periods of time because personality type doesn't change. It can evolve, develop into a certain direction. But the personality type itself doesn't change.
Tämä kirja on siinä mielessä ainutlaatuinen, että tämä ei käsittele pelkkää juoksua tai pelkkää pyöräilyä, vaan tässä on monta eri lajia. Ja sitten tässä tulee muutamia muita tällaisia pikkuniksejä ja vinkkejä, että on millä tavalla voi hallinnoida omaa kalenteria. Mulla esimerkiksi on 60 kalenterimerkintää viikossa.
I have 60 marks on my calendar every week. And his approach to this man's training book is extremely systematic. He's giving tips to how to make your life more structural. I mean, both STJs and NTJs are systematic.
Toinen juttu, mikä tässä on mun mielestä ainutlaatuista tässä kirjassa, on se, että mulla on huippuvalmentajia auttamassa. Että jos Hanna-Mari Seppälä auttaa uimisessa, niin eihän se voi mennä väärin. Tai jos Jell Kaastrom auttaa pyöräilyssä, niin sekin on pakko onnistua. Tai Virpi Kuitunen hiihdossa tai Timo Vuorimaa juoksussa.
Extrovert thinking. If all these known people are helping with giving tips, then it can't go wrong, right? These people have status. These people have achieved a certain achievements in the field of sports.
Eli tämä kirja ei todellakaan ole mikään tällainen moraalisaarna. Nyt elä raitista elämää, ulkoille ja kuntoille, vaan jokainen tekee ihan niin kuin tykkää. Ja perusteesi tässä oikeastaan on se, että aikahan on vaan huono tekosyy.
Time is only a bad excuse. I think I'm starting to see more abstract than concrete. I have also seen some small implications of extroverted sensing and introverted intuition rather than extroverted intuition and introverted sensing. I'm siding more with NTJ right now.
Jos mulla on yksi väittämä tässä kirjassa, josta mä pidän kiinni, niin se on se, että 1 tunti kuntoilua päivässä antaa 2 tuntia lisäenergiaa.
1 hour of training in a day gives 2 hours of more extra energy. That is a abstract argument. He seems also really confident guy, which is really typical for an EXTJ. EXTJs can come across overly confident due to their extrovert thinking leading function. If he would be an IXTJ, which is introverted, he would be much more negative or questioning his own thinking. He would not come across as confident to the outside. In this video, he also said, I guarantee to you that these tips will work. Obviously, you can't guarantee anything. So you're just being extremely confident with your arguments and speech. Therefore, Stubb is either ESTJ or ENTJ. Alexander Stubb is a Ironman and Prime Minister. How do you do it?
I think it's bullshit when people say that, I only sleep 4 hours. No, you don't, or then you're certainly not working at your maximum capacity.
Direct!
Today, I'm meeting Alexander Stubb, the former Prime Minister of Finland, and even more importantly, a legend in the triathlon scene. My question to you is, are you a pro athlete?
I guess my answer is first, how low can you go if you're aiming to be like me? I mean, that's desperate, man. No, I do train quite seriously, and I started training quite seriously around 2008. Am I a pro athlete? Absolutely not. Then I'd have to double my training hours.
Why do you do triathlon?
Well, it all started because I kept on getting injured from running. I'm 80 kilos, so I'm quite a big guy. And then my physio told me you need to start swimming and cycling. I said I hate both. I got in touch with Antti Hagqvist, who is pretty much Mr. Triathlon in Finland, and he coached me to do a half Ironman in Joroinen in 2008, and I haven't looked back since. I wanted to become a professional golfer, but noticed very quickly that golf is not my thing, or that I'm not good enough. I played in a tournament with Phil Mickelson. I just came to the conclusion I don't have his hands.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. He had a really straightforward path. I wanted to be a golfer, and I saw from other people's experience, I draw a conclusion that I am not made for this. My potential is not fulfilled in this specific path. And he creates another path for himself. I would say this is really extroverted sensing and introverted intuition. You gather experience, you gather the physical environment and see the results of that. And you draw a conclusion. And introverted intuition is usually pretty conscious of the potential of people, of the potential of themselves. And they want to fulfill that. They don't go around and seek for opportunities. They try things out, see if it works, and then make a path for yourself.
You have to be patient. I think that's what it takes. And you have to be smart. You should not overtrain. I think a lot of people go completely gung-ho when they're young, so they need to have a really good coach, really good team around them.
Is it a good goal to become a pro athlete?
Yeah, why not? But you have to love it. It has to come from your heart. It has to be a passion.
It has to be your passion. It is more likely that an ENTJ, more abstract, who has these kind of passions and introverted intuition that is conscious of their own path and passions in life, would say something like that. I am definitely siding with ENTJ, but let's see more.
Here's a mystery for us mortals. You work probably between 8 to 12 hours a day, depending on the day. Sleep 8 hours, train triathlon, travel between 2 countries. How do you make it work?
Well, it's probably easier to make it work now that I'm in the life of academia. It was a bit more complicated when I was in politics. Having said that, when I was in government for 8 years, everything was on a silver plate. So, I had my driver, I had my team, I had, hundreds, if not thousands in staff who made sure that I would, say the right things at the right time in the right place. I'm very systematic in what I do, so I plan very carefully. So my training weeks are very closely planned. If I have a really tough time at work, then I have to go slow on the training, because the stress levels are high mentally, then I can't stress myself physically.
If my stress is high mentally, then I can't stress myself physically. This kind of abstraction of the mentality and the physicality from each other.
Some people might find your superhuman sports performances annoying, and you might drive like a bicycle route before someone gets out of bed. Does this bother you? How do you handle it?
Not really. I understand where it comes from, that, I think it's a natural inclination. It's a human feeling that if someone is doing something that you kind of want to do but you're not doing it, then instead of, thinking about what you could do about it yourself, you say, I don't like that guy, he can't do that, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I do think we have gotten his type. Alexander Stubb is an ENTJ. He says he doesn't get bothered when people look at him in weird ways and say, stuff about him. He has a passion in his heart to do these kind of things, and he wants to succeed. He's really systematic in his life. I do think it's an interesting example of extroverted sensing, introverted intuition, and definitely high extroverted thinking. He draws a lot of information from the external to build up his own conclusions. What do you think? Comment below. See you in the next video.